In this video, I defy gravity to create a really eye-catching portrait.
Adorama TV presents Take and Make Great Photography with Gavin Hoey.
Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching Adorama TV, brought to you by Adorama, the camera store that has everything for us photographers. Now, I always say, if you want your pictures to stand out from the crowd, try altering reality. And in this video, I'm going to alter reality by altering gravity to make a really eye-catching shot. So I guess there's really two ways that we could defy gravity in the photos. One way would be to build a fantastic gravity-defying set. The other way, well, it's a bit easier. All I'm going to do is to get my model to lie on the floor and then light it accordingly. It's not quite as simple as just getting your model to lie on the floor. You have to think about the direction of light. And the easiest way to do it is think like this. How would you light the scene if your model was just leaning up against a wall? Well, whatever lighting you would do, just rotate that 90 degrees and you should be more or less in the right lighting pattern. So in this case, I've got a boom arm, so I can just rotate this around 90 degrees, bring it out like that, and hopefully that should be my lighting more or less right. As well as the key light, there is actually going to be at least one more light. It's going to be this one right here. And this light isn't to light the model, despite how it looks in the video. This light is purely for effect, just to really make that anti-gravity feeling come alive. Now, all it is just a standard household light, a 60-watt bulb on a light switch, and then I've only got a short cable, so this is just an extension cable back to the wall. I've mounted it on a boom arm, so it's a little bit out of the shot, but more usefully it means that I can loosen this off and change the height and move this around to create lots and lots of bulbs in the final picture, because I don't want one bulb, I want lots of them, but I only own one of these, so this is going to be repeated over and over again to create the final shot. So this bit is really important. The final picture has lots of lights created from a single light, which means I'm going to move it around at the end of the shoot. To make that work really smoothly in Photoshop, this camera needs to be rock solid still. No movements during the shoot, no movement after the shoot. That's not solid enough. So I'm going to add in a beanbag just to make sure that that is now completely rock solid. I would use a remote release, but I don't actually have one for this camera, so instead I've tethered it up to my Windows 8 tablet, and I'm using the Olympus capture software to tether directly. I can remote fire, I get a live view, and that's really great. However, if I was using my Canon camera, of course, I would use Lightroom to do the same thing, and with Nikon, the same would work too. So today I've been joined by Freya, who's going to be my amazing gravity-defying model. Well, she's going to be lying on the floor anyway. And the first thing I need to do is to set up the lights. Now I'm going to be using my StreakLight 360 flash as the main light source for this shoot, even though we're going to have a light bulb in it. This is very similar to the motivated light that we did a few videos back. You can go and check that out on the Adorama Learning Center if you've missed it. So first thing to do is to take a meter reading. Now my ideal setting for this is f8. So let's just see what we've got at the moment. I've not got a clue. Let's just take a meter reading by putting the flash meter by Freya's chin, pointing back at the main light, and I can see I've got f5.6. So I'm actually a little bit less than my target f8. And I want f8 because it's going to give me a really good depth of field for this shot. Now I could adjust the flash here, or I could do it using the remote. So let's just increase that by a stop. Take another test meter reading. And yep, I'm on f8. So I've got exactly the right exposure from the flash. Now this little light looks like it's adding to the shot. Well, let's put it all the way up to full power. Here we go. Now it looks like it's really adding to the shot. But the thing to remember is a light bulb, this is a 60-watt light bulb, this is a 360-watt flash. But the flash is watts in seconds, the light bulb is watts in hours. So it is much, much brighter, the flash, than the light bulb. Let's see if the two will actually record. Let's take a test picture. Here we go. So f8 at 125th of a second, Yep, I can see the exposure on Freya is perfect, and there is still a glow from the light bulb as well. So that is a perfect combination. Now that looks pretty good, but the background looks a little bit empty and a little bit dark. So I'm going to get a speed light, and this is just the Flashpoint speed light, and I'm just going to pop this around the back. So what I've got is this set pretty much to its lowest power, 1/64th of its full power. I've got it on 105mm zoom, and that should give us a nice little beam of light just to add a glancing blow of light down the background. I'll angle it away so it doesn't actually light Freya herself. Let's see how this looks. Now this is one of those shots where you're going to take a picture and review it rather than actually meter for it, and that looks excellent. So we've got a nice bright light back there, just a little bit of a splash of light to separate the background and our light bulbs. So with all the lights set up, we're ready for the main part of the shoot, and this is perhaps the most important bit because this is going to form the main section of our picture, and then I'll add in some extra light bulbs at the end. So let's give Freya a little prop. There we go. And of course, because I'm tethered, I can actually take the pictures here from the tablet. So Freya, let's go. Marvellous. So you're going to open the book and you can read it. That's it. You're going to lean forward just like you were not on the floor. That's it. That's really good. Hold on to one shoulder again. So you're leaning against the wall. Okay, and head up. Turn the book around that way, that's it. Okay. Yeah, ready? 1, 2, 3. Marvellous. So the main shot is done. All I need to do now is just to move the light bulb around and take some different shots. I don't even need Freya in the shot for this, but I do need to make sure that that camera and tripod does not move. Well, after a bit of sifting through the images, I chose my favourite base image of Freya, and I think I've got about 8 extra pictures of light bulbs. Now, because of all the planning stage of things, the Photoshop stage should be reasonably quick and simple, especially when you use a few nice little shortcut tools built into Photoshop. Let's have a look. So I've already gone through the pictures and they've all been processed through RAW in exactly the same way, and they've all been turned on their side. So I've got a picture of Freya here, and then I've got lots of random pictures of light bulbs, and you can see they are all exactly the same. There's no difference shot to shot. So what I need to do is get all of these individual pictures together as one, and I do it by going to File, Scripts, and then almost off the screen, you'll probably be able to see half of it if you're lucky, but there is an option that says Load Files into Stack. Now, a stack of images is just another way of saying layers. So I'm going to add in the open files, that's the 9 that make up my sequence, and then I just click OK. So Photoshop will go off and do its thing and get each of the images and put each one on its own separate layer. Then all I need to do is just blend them together. Now, there might be a little quick shortcut for this, but I'm going to do this old school with layer masks, and honestly, it'll only take a couple of minutes. So here is my layer stack. I'm looking for this image. This is the most important one. That's the main picture with Freya in it. I'm going to drag that right down to the bottom. I'm then going to turn off all of the other layer visibilities by holding the Alt key, or the Option key on a Mac, clicking on the visibility eye icon, and that will switch them all off temporarily. Okay, let's start adding them back in one at a time. Let's start with this layer, and we'll click it to make it active. Okay, so we've got a light bulb over here. Got to remember where these are, that helps. And then I'm going to add a layer mask. Now I'm going to hold the Alt key, or the Option key again, and click on the Layer Mask button, and that will create a black layer mask, known as a Hide All layer mask, because it's all hidden. Here comes the fun bit. I just get a paintbrush, and make sure that the brush color is white, the opposite of the layer mask. and I paint where it was, there it is, and it magically comes through. No special blending required, no cloning. Because all the image is identical in position and lighting, it just blends in. Okay, let's turn on another layer. Let's go grab this one. Okay, remember where that is, just off the center. Hold the Alt key or the Option key, and we'll bring that one in as well. There we go, lovely. Let's do another one. Okay, this one's sort of small one at the top. I'll add that in, so that's going to come in here somewhere. Lovely. And I'm just going to build this up one by one. And that one's sort of in between them. I might need a smaller brush just to make sure I don't accidentally erase anything else. What else have we got here? Okay, yeah, that's over there. So as you can see, I move the light around, but I also change the height as well. It's the same bulb every single time, but every single time it's in a slightly different position. Okay, let's bring that through. And if you do make any mistakes, you can always swap to black and just paint them back in again, but that's fine. What else have we got? Okay, now this one's a bit more of a challenge. That one's sort of slap bang in the middle, and if I start to trace this one back through, it sort of comes in here somewhere, and it goes down onto the book. And I quite like this one. I liked this idea that it was going to be in front of the book. It just adds an extra level of depth and interest to the shot, and just helps with that whole sort of selling of the anti-gravity shot, because, well, it looks like it was there. It really does. Okay, how many more have we got to go? We've got one more to go. We're nearly there. So last one, click it to make it active. It's down at the bottom, just to fill in that little gap down there. And there you go. So there we are. We now have lots of light bulbs and a gravity-defying image. All I need to do is just do a little bit more tidying up of the image, and that'll be the final picture completed. Well, there you go. You see what you can do with a little bit of imagination. Well, if you want to see more videos from myself and the other amazing presenters here on Adorama TV, you know what you've got to do. You've got to click on the subscribe button. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.
Do you want great looking prints at low cost? Be sure to visit our easy to use online printing service. Adorama Pix has professionals who treat your images with the utmost care that you can count on. For a quick turnaround on photos, cards, or albums, use AdoramaPix.com.